Hi guys, as you know, I'm here at Disney World in Orlando, Florida, as a Disney College Program cast member, and a lot of my family and friends, want to know how it's going. And I've also had a lot of friends from school that are like, oh, this is really interesting. Like, how are you doing this? I might like to do this. So I thought, throughout my 4 months here, I would make a blog and tell everybody how it's going. I'm not gonna be able to tell everything because it's Disney. You got to keep the magic a little bit of a secret. So let me just start with the application process. I'll be brief with that. So basically, you go to the college program website and you apply. It's just a basic employee application type thing, like you would for any other job. Work history, name, birthday, address, that type of stuff. And then they'll review that, and if they think you're a good applicant based upon that, they will push you through to a web-based interview. What the web interview is it's split up into two sections. The first section is, I think you have like 20 seconds to answer. It's multiple choice, and you have 20 seconds to answer, and then the second half is like 15 or 10 seconds. I can't quite remember. It's been a couple months, but so yeah, you only have a couple seconds because they want your like initial reaction. How's it going? So after that, if you're a good candidate based on that, they send you an email and they say, okay, we think you're a good applicant. Let's set up a phone interview. And so what you do is you schedule a date and a time, and they say to set aside like 30 minutes in that time frame, and someone will call you from Disney and do a phone interview, over the phone. And it's nerve-wracking. I mean, in person, I do really well with interviews, I think. But when you're on a phone interview, it's kind of difficult because, like, you can hear their tone of voice, but you can't make eye contact. You can't, you don't have any body language to read or anything, so it's kind of difficult. But, I mean, if you stay calm and you're just honest and happy, then they're pretty cool to get along with. And when they hang up the phone with you, they say, have a magical day, and it gives you butterflies. So then, that's the third part of the application process. Then you get accepted, or you don't. You find out in a couple weeks or whatever. So that's how that works. So I've been accepted. I don't even know where to start. There's so much. My program runs from today, February 1st, through June 2nd. I move out and I'm done with the program. So let's start with talking about how it was a 13.5-hour drive. My dad was awesome enough to drive me down here and help me get moved in and stuff. So when you come down here, they email you an itinerary and a boarding pass, which is basically just a barcode. So you have to print both of those off and take them to check in with you. I have my itinerary right here. So I had check-in this morning this afternoon at 12:15 is what your itinerary looks like. I had check-in at 12:15, and basically what that is they tell you where you're working. You get your housing ID, which I'm not showing you that because my picture is awful. Anyway, you get your housing ID and tell you where you're working, and they kind of answer any questions you have at that point. Oh, and they tell you where you're living and give you your room key and stuff, which is really cool. And they tell you family can't come with you to check in. And I was wondering, I was like, why? Well, when you get here, you find out the line is super long. It goes super fast, though, so that's good. So my dad dropped me off. About an hour later, I was done with check-in. I went through, took my picture, got my ID, got my housing, my work assignments, everything. So you leave casting, or you leave and you go to casting. Now, my schedule, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. I knew this was going to happen. So, I'm working at Magic Kingdom. I'm super excited in full service food and beverage at Liberty Tree Tavern as a seater is my technical job description, which basically if you read the role online, it's a hostess position. I've done it before. I loved it. I get to wear like a colonial costume. I'm so excited. I don't know. I'm a dork. So yeah, it's in Magic Kingdom, which is like, what part could you want to work in more than Magic Kingdom? I am living with 7 other girls in Chatham Square. There's 4 different apartment complexes in Little Lake Bryan. Funny story. Where all the apartment complexes for the college program is called Little Lake Bryan. And last night at dinner, our server, he was asking me about the college program, and he asked me about Little Lake Bryan, and I didn't know that's what it was at that point. And I was like, what? I don't like Lake Bryan. And it was really awkward, and he laughed. It was really awkward. But anyway, it's called Little Lake Bryan, in case you were wondering. So there's 4 apartment complexes you can stay in. There's Chatham Square, Patterson Court, the Commons, and Vista Way. Vista Way is kind of like separated from the rest of them, and then the other 3 are together. When you get accepted, they'll send you housing information, and it's basically the only information they give you are pricing. There's not a whole lot of information in that email. So, and then they ask you to list your preferences like in order, and you're not guaranteed those preferences, but they try really hard. I got Chatham, which was my first pick. And I did my research, and I kind of looked at other people's blogs and kind of looked at the maps and the bus stops and stuff. I don't have my car down here because my dad drove me and dropped me off. But the bus stop actually stops right outside of the Chatham security gates, and people who live in Patterson and the Commons come to Chatham to catch the bus. So like, why not live in Chatham? So thank God I got in Chatham. God's really been looking out for me, because I really didn't want to walk very far, and I got into Magic Kingdom, so God is good. So that's housing. I feel like there's so much more. My apartment, I posted a video earlier. My apartment's bomb. It's awesome. It's huge. But like I said in my video earlier, I live with 7 other girls, so it's kind of got to be big. How that works, let me explain how that works. There's 4 bedrooms and 2 girls to a bedroom, and there's 2 full baths and a half bath, and there's 2 refrigerators and freezers, and yeah, it's big enough. And plus, like, everybody's work schedules, like, we're not going to be here at the same time, so I'm not even worried about that. Also with housing, something they don't tell you, they tell you have internet. I'm sorry, it's been a long day, I'm losing my voice. Something they don't tell you is that there is internet access, but they're kind of vague about it. There's an Ethernet hookup for it, so either bring an Ethernet cord if you plan on coming to do the program. Either bring an Ethernet cord or bring a wireless router. None of us brought either of those things, so I think we're going to get a router and use that so we can all use the Wi-Fi at the same time. I think that's all I have to say about housing. So after you leave check-in, go back to the day. After you leave check-in, you either go to casting or you go move into your apartment. I came and moved into my apartment afterwards because my casting isn't until tomorrow at 11. And I think that kind of worked out. So I just checked in at 12:15, and then I moved into my apartment, and then I had like the rest of the day to spend with my dad before he went back, which was really nice. So I kind of lucked out there too. So tomorrow I go to casting, and I mean, of course, I'll do another video tomorrow and let you guys know how that goes. One of my roommates went today. She's from England, and she's got a really cool accent, and she's awesome. She's really nice. Anyway, she went to casting today, and she said basically it's just like paperwork, and you find out when your Disney Traditions class is. What Traditions class is kind of like, it's a one-day thing. It's not a training for your specific role, but it's a training for like the Disney company as a whole. Like, this is what we expect of our cast members. This is welcome to the Disney family. You know, this is what is expected of you. You're in a Fortune 500 company. You know, act like it. Stuff like that. They're probably a lot nicer about it than I just sounded, but whatever. I'm looking at my itinerary. So then you go to casting. That's tomorrow. I'll let you guys know about that. And then there's a housing welcome session, which isn't a couple days away. Mine's a couple days away. And that's really all there is that I have today, I think. You get, when you go to check-in, you get this nice little book. It says program guide, and then on the back it tells you like where you're living, and my key was like taped to it. It's got like all kinds of really, really useful information and phone numbers and stuff. Another question people were wondering is like, you know, are you going to graduate on time? Are you taking classes down there? I I'm still going to graduate on time. For those of you who don't know, I go to West Virginia Wesleyan. They're in Buchanan, West Virginia. And my school has been super, super helpful with the whole me taking classes while I'm in Florida. Well, Disney does offer some really awesome classes. I know there's like history of Walt, and you can use that as like your history credit. But they're accredited through ACE, and my school doesn't recognize ACE, so like they won't accept credit transfers from any class accredited through ACE. So unfortunately, like I could take those classes and I would learn a lot and they'd be really helpful. But I couldn't use them for credit, and yeah, I'm kind of jumping everywhere because I just thought of another thing. I swear I'll get better at this thing. I've never blankly talked to a laptop before. I don't know. I'm sorry. So yeah, so what I did with Wesleyan is I'm taking one online class, like an actual online class, and the other 4 or 5 classes I'm taking are actual classes that are being taught on campus. Like this semester are being taught on campus. So what I did was I talked to my advisor, and then I had to go talk to these individual teachers, professors, doctors. I had to go talk to them on an individual basis and say, hey, I have this really awesome resume building opportunity. Would you be willing to work with me with this? And of course, you know, I think all the professors that I'm working with this semester, I've had class with before, and you know, they know like I'm a good student, like, and they also know that this is an incredible opportunity, and so they were really awesome with working with it. Our registrar office was really helpful too. She helped me figure out that I could do the directed study, because another option is to take classes through like local universities down here in Orlando, but again, then there's like the application process, getting in, transferring your credits from there to back to Wesleyan. Like, I just didn't want to get into all that. So what I did was I'm taking the classes directed study online through Wesleyan. What was the other thing I had to say? It was something about housing. I really need to like write a script or something. I'm sorry, this is really terrible. Well, I guess I'll think of it for tomorrow, maybe. Get this really awesome transportation schedule, and it's got like all the bus. I don't know how to read it yet. It's really confusing. My dad couldn't figure it out either. Sorry, Dad, I ratted you out. He couldn't figure it out either. None of my roommates can figure it out. I don't really know. I'm gonna ask someone in casting tomorrow, and hopefully they can help me. It's hot. That's kind of a no-brainer because it's Florida, but I mean it's February 1st, and back in West Virginia it's not 80 degrees. You can tell by like the sweat and the hair and the nastiness from moving all day. But one thing I noticed is if you do plan on coming down here or applying for the program or whatever, if you're not used to this humidity, it'll make you tired. Like, I was ready for bed at like 5. It's 11 and I'm dead. I think that's all I have for right now. I'll do another one tomorrow maybe. If anybody even watches this, if you watch it, I don't know, like it or something, or comment or tell me that I'm an idiot or something. I don't know. I've never talked to a computer before. Like I said, it's really different for me. So that's all. I'm super excited. Everybody's super nice and super helpful. Yeah. It's only day 1, and I'm so excited for the rest of them. Have a magical evening, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.